Okay, I believe we're in business again. We are recording this meeting. That way we can share it with you guys and upload it to the Google Classroom and the Google Classroom of the class of 2022, and also share it in different areas. Okay, I am going to share my screen now, and it's on. Again, this is Ms. Chavez Casas and Ms. Garcia, and we're going to cover FAFSA, CADA, and scholarships OMI today. We are going to answer a few questions, give you some time to start working on your FSAID and your applications. Okay. Again, you don't have to write everything down. Just take a few notes if you can, and we'll go over the information. We will upload this in your senior class Google Classroom of 2022. So what is the FAFSA and the California DREAM Act application? Okay. For example, FAFSA. FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Okay. So every year before you start college, and then every year that you're in college, you will fill out this application. It's the application that the state of California, in this case, because we live in California, and the federal government will use to determine what type of federal aid and state aid you're eligible with. Okay. They basically have formulas already established based on your grades, based on your family income, will determine your need. Okay. Many states, and again, also the colleges and universities, will also use that data to determine their own free money or additional help that they can give you. Okay. The free application for federal student aid is for our students that are U.S. citizens and legal residents. Okay. Now we have CADA or CADA. That's the California DREAM Act application. This is not DACA. I know. I'm sorry. They use the same acronym letters, so it really confuses people. Okay. And they use the word dream in there as well. And people get confused with the dreamers. Okay. But they're kind of together, but they're not the same. Okay. CADA is the California DREAM Act application that allows undocumented and non-resident students, okay, that would not qualify for the FAFSA to actually receive financial aid. And they can receive private scholarship, state monies from the state of California and the California College Grant, Promise Grant. Okay. Who can apply for the CADA, the DREAM Act application? If you're in California and you meet the AB 540 requirements, okay, that will make you eligible. Any student that is undocumented, meaning you do not have legal status to be in the United States, you can apply. Okay. Also, if you know that you have a visa, okay, an immigration visa, and it's the U visa, you are able to apply for that. If you are not sure, or you have friends, a lot of times we need your guys' help to help reach those students. Okay. If you have friends that they're not quite sure, have them come over and talk to one of us, and we can determine which of the two. Okay. Our recommendation is do not fill out both. You either fill out the FAFSA or the CADA, which is the California DREAM Act. Okay. With technology, the FAFSA people have basically opened up different platforms. In the past, it was paper. You know, when Ms. Garcia and myself attended college, we had to do it by hand. Okay. Now we do have it on the web. You can use your computer. Okay. You can also use it on your phones. Okay. You can use their mobile app. It's called the My Student Aid. Okay. And you can also use it like on tablets or other devices, and you would go to FAFSA.gov. So just letting you know that they do have different platforms, and you can basically do everything from your phone. Okay. People have, through the federal government, are trying to streamline and make their platforms much easier that you can follow and see where you are at. Okay. So we listen to the video. So basically, we're going to go into figuring out what this is. Okay. So with the FAFSA and the CADA, you do have to create a username and a password. Okay, but I wanted to basically tell you and make note, if you're a FAFSA, you are going to use what we call the FSAID. That's where that purplish looking arrow is pointing at. With CADA students, you do not do an FSAID. Okay, you create your username and password directly with CADA. Okay, if you fall under the California Dream Act application. Okay, this is going to be your first step. This is how you create your username and your password, your login, okay? And you use these to be able to sign electronically your application, okay? You will also need to create one for one of your parents, okay? Now, if you do have an older brother and sister, okay, that already went through college and they have an FSAID for one of your parents, you use the same one. They do not get a multiple one for every child that they go to college, okay? The parents have one, you will always have yours, okay? And that will follow you forever, okay? So double check before you create another one for your parents, okay? Now, once you click on the FSAID, okay, it will open up to a screen that looks like this, okay? And this is part of their new redesign and their new platform, okay? You're basically gonna start logging in, but if you're creating the account for the very first time, you're gonna click at the bottom where it says create account, okay? But I wanted to show you, as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, it says, hi, Aiden, I'm the financial aid virtual assistant. You will start seeing these virtual assistants, and that's that little owl that's at the bottom, the green little owl. Okay, so if you need additional help, you can use that virtual assistants and they will help you and guide you through it. Okay, once you create the account or you hit the account button, it will take you to create an account for your FSAID. Okay, you would have to create one for one of your parents, okay, and one for you, the students. Okay, and these are the informations that that you can use this for, filling out your FAFSA. You can also do it in the future if you do pick up student loans. You can use it to start paying off your student loans, because you could do it electronically. Because trust me, it's not like you're going to go to the office and try to pay your loan back. Everything's done electronically nowadays. Okay, and again, big reminder, only one parent needs to have an FSAID, and double check with an older sibling just in case they already created one for one of your parents, okay? The first page was the top of how you create your account. This is the second. So as you scroll down, okay, you are going to create your account and you're going to hit the get started, okay? We'll go back to it at the end. I just want to get through a lot of the information, okay? Now, once you create your FSAID, it will give you the option to start your FAFSA, okay, your free application for federal student aid, okay? Let me stop there and then I'll go on. Look, these little squares labeled 1, 2, 3, with one application, which is your FAFSA, you will be looked at to see what you qualify for. It could be free money, it could be borrowed money, and it could be earned money. Let me explain. Number 3, earn money. You basically work for that money. You will be hired by the college or the university that you're applying to, and you select to attend, and then they will hire you as an employee, and they will use that money to pay you as your paycheck. That's the money that you earn, okay? Borrowed money are our student loans. Those are student loans that people pick up, and yes, you still have to pay for them. The free money is money that the financial aid individual, the federal government, and the state of California will determine if you can receive that additional help, okay? And what they will do is, based out of your grades, your family need, the cost of the institution, okay, will determine this is the free money you're getting and you do not have to pay it back, okay? These are the two different types, the most common types of student loans. We have the direct subsidized loans, which are loans that are made for undergraduate students that have that financial need. It will help them cover the cost of a college or university, and even a career vocational school. Okay. Yes, you do have to pay them back. Okay. The other one is the unsubsidized loans. Okay. These are for undergraduate and graduate and professional students. Okay. And this eligibility does not have to fit under financial need. Okay. The first one is based out of your financial need, based out of your family's income. The second one is not. These can be offered to any student, does not matter how much money the family has. Okay. And yes, you do have to pay these back. Trust me, it's scary to pick up loans, okay? But think about it as an investment for your future. They will offer you student loans. Let's say they offer you, this is an example, $5,000 for 1 year. But you look at it and you say, well, I don't need $5,000. I can cover my whole school with just 1,000. You are able to determine only take out the $1,000. So therefore you will only be responsible for $1,000. Okay. So just be cautious with your student loans. Take out only what you need, and remember that you do have to pay them back. Okay. Once you have the FSAID, now you know the FAFSA is made up of those 3 areas that they can help you with. Now let's get started. Okay. In your app, you can do all of these things. Okay. So the app will allow you to monitor, fill out, change, update, view where you're at, anything that has to do with your FAFSA. So if you like working off your phone, this is your year, because it will allow you to do it off of your phone. A year or 2 years ago, this was not the case. Okay. Now, this is what the FAFSA page looks like. I wanted to show you to you guys because there are other sites out there that say FAFSA, financial aid, but those are private companies that are out there to make money, to make sure that you basically pay them to fill out the FAFSA for you. The federal application is completely free. So make sure it looks like this. Okay. Now, I keep going back between the FAFSA and the DREAM Act application, the CADA. Okay. This is what the 2 pages look like. Okay. Our documented students will do the one on the left. That's the blue one. Okay. Our undocumented students, okay, will do the California DREAM Act. That's the one with the girl on the right-hand side. Make sure that you use one or the other. Okay. You create your username and so forth. Okay. Both of them have 7 sections. That's it. Okay. You go from section 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 7, which is your signature and you first submit your application. Okay. And this is what it looks like. Okay. This is what it looks like. It kind of has that app kind of look because it's kind of narrow and you can kind of scroll through it on your phone or your tablet. Okay. So it's, easy to use. You can see the 7 tabs on the top. Right now, I did the screenshot of the school selection. Okay. The first one is about student demographic. It's all about you. You got to know your name. You got to know your address and so forth. Okay. As you can see at the bottom, it basically has for you to be able to maneuver back page, which is the previous page, or go next. Okay. Once you complete a whole page, it will automatically save it for you. Okay. If you do not complete a whole page, it will take you back whenever you log back in to the page that you previously had completed fully. Okay. So it's an automatic save on these. Okay. What I'd like is what I'm pointing at with the red arrow is those question marks. When you're not sure what to put, look over to these question marks. You can click on them and it will guide you with examples. So, okay. So when you're reading the question, you're like, what am I supposed to put here? Not sure. Click on those little arrows. All righty. Okay. One of the biggest issues that students run into is trying to figure out their dependency determination. Okay. So you will get on the dependency area. It will ask you a series of questions. Okay. Questions like, are you married? Have you served in the military? Okay. And these are some of the examples. If you answer no to all of those questions, okay, that will make you dependent of your parents. And you are required to submit information regarding your parents. Okay? Now, I get a lot of questions, ask the counselors. But I live with my aunt. I live with my grandmother. I live with my tia. I live with my Lola. It does not matter. Okay? You still have to provide information from your either legal guardians because they adopted you or your biological parents. What is a legal guardianship? Is they actually went to the courts and they were given legal custody of you. Okay. So under the yes column, if you fall under any of these, then the person that has your legal guardianship will become your legal parent, and that's who you put information for. Okay. Just because your grandmother got a notarized letter from your parents saying that they're going to be staying at their house, that does not make them your legal guardian. Okay. Also, who's your parent? Okay. Your biological parent has to be your parent of birth. Okay. Now, if your parents are married, okay, you have to put both of your parents' information. If your parents are not married and they've never been married, then you put information with whom you live with who do you spend more time during a year. Okay. Now, if your parents were divorced, okay, then you would put the information with the parent that you live with. If that parent remarried, okay, you have to put both information, one of your biological parent and the other from the person that they remarried with. Okay. I know it's a little confusing and you're not sure. Come over and ask us. Okay. Now, this gives a lot of stress to people because a lot of times we understand that you might live with your example, your mother. Okay. But you do not know where your father is at. Okay. You really have no contact with them. Okay. You can select not to put information at this time. Okay. Now, if you also do not have contact with your mother, with any of your biological parents, you don't know anything about them, you can select the one that says, I am unable to provide information. That will allow you to go on. Okay. But what I want to make you aware of is at that point, you have to complete the rest of the application. You have to submit it, and you're going to be on a waiting pattern. Then the college or university or vocational school, they will have to determine your dependency status. Okay. If they determine that, yes, you cannot get a hold of your parents, you have none of their information, they might make you independent where only your information is needed. Okay. If they determine that you have to still provide some parent information, then that's where you're going to have to dig around and try to find more information. But at least it gives you that option. Okay. Once you complete the parent or the student dependent status, it will ask you for your parents' financial information. You will need your parents' 2020 tax returns and your 2019 if they have them, at least to use them. Okay. Our suggestion, because a lot of students get stuck with not knowing how to read the tax information, is two suggestions. One, do the IRS retrieval tool. It automatically takes all of the information from your parents' tax returns and it fills it in for you, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. The other one is go ahead and come over and ask us. We can help you read those tax returns from your parents if you bring them in, and we'll tell you what to put in each of the little categories. We don't want you guys to stress. Okay. Then that's it. We're over to section 7. This is where you sign. Okay. How do you sign? You use your FSAID as you, the student, you sign electronically. Okay. You have an FSAID for your parent. They sign it electronically with their FSAID and you submit. Okay. Now, I have highlighted that little red circle square thingy at the bottom. Okay. If your parents are undocumented and they do not have a social security number and an FSAID, because they cannot, Okay, don't panic. You sign yours with your FSAID and then click on that button that I circled at the bottom. That will give you a signature page. And yes, you're going to have to do it old-fashioned, where you have to print out that page. Your parents sign it by hand, okay? And then from there, you have to mail it. You have to actually go to the post office and mail it. If you need help printing those out, come and ask us. I know a lot of you guys don't have printers, so go ahead and come over, okay? And ask us, can you help me print this out, okay? And we can do that. I've also added a couple things that students tend to make mistakes on, and those are they don't check with their parents. They assume that they don't have the information. Please ask your parents. If you need help, use us to call your parents so we can get some of this information. Okay, you have to know that legal guardianship, like who is legally responsible for you if it's not your biological parent. Okay, get their tax information. Okay, find out how many people live in your house, because you're going to know that's going to determine your need. If there's only 2 people in your house, the need is going to be lower than if there's 7 people in your house. Okay, so be careful with that. Okay, also it's going to ask you if you have brothers and sisters that are already going to college. That's an extra expense on the family. Make sure that you have that information. And please, please have the correct spelling and order of your name, your parents' name, the date of birth. Okay, it's easier to ask ahead of time than having to make corrections, because it would slow down the process. Okay, the retrieval form for the taxes, I highly recommend it so we can get that information and it doesn't hold you up. Okay, and again, get the correct social security number from your parents. If your parents or you yourself have VACA, that's a deferred action, okay, to be here temporarily, okay, that is not a valid social security number. Do not use it. You will do the DREAM Act application, okay? Date of birth, find out. Some of you guys don't know your parents' birthday. You get that information, okay? And again, don't worry if they don't have an FSAID number for your parent. You can do the paper signature page, okay? Our deadline is March 2nd. Right now, focus on your college applications, and then we can work on and doing their the FAFSA, because you have until March 2nd. There's no advantage into you filling it out now versus you filling it out in a week or 2 from now or on March 1st. Okay, we just want you to do it as soon as possible and before March 2nd. Okay, now we had already gone over your senior check-in. We went into your government and economics classes. You guys remember before the fall break virtually. And I reminded you that we do have some financial aid nights. That's informational nights for your parents. So they're not like, why are you asking me for my social security number? Why do you want my taxes? So they learn. That workshop is more detailed than what I'm giving you guys. You guys have us. You can come over and ask us. These workshops are more for your parents, also for yourself. We have the first one coming up November 27th, and you do need to RSVP. So please go back to your senior check-in. It's in your Google Classroom, and sign up for one of these 4. They're exactly the same. Just wanted to give you a little reminder. Okay. Now, starting in February, for all my late people that have not finished, we will open up the counseling center on Tuesdays and Thursdays after school if you need help. Now, I'm not saying you have to wait till February. If you need help and you want to do it now, just make an appointment with your counselor, okay? Send us an email saying, hey, I need help with the financial aid. Can my parents and I come in with our tax information and you help us? By all means, yes, okay? And that's, for now, that's enough on financial aid and the DACA and CADA, okay? The DREAM Act application. We're going to move on to scholarships. Ms. Garcia?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So I know it's a lot of information. We are here to help, but we want to make sure that you have all of the options. Not only we want you to fill out the FAFSA or CADA, whichever one applies, but there are many other options. We also have the scholarships, which is separate. totally separate applications. And we did review this when we did your senior presentations, but it doesn't hurt to remind you again, to check it out again, because we want you to get more money. So this is our website, our counseling center website. And then if you see that arrow there, which says scholarships and financial aid, okay, you will click there. And then every month I will be updating different scholarships. There are deadlines. Okay, so we want to make sure that you are checking every month, because some scholarships might apply to you, some might not. We have different ones for everybody, but if you don't look, it won't happen for you. And this is just extra money on top of whatever you might or might not get from financial aid. So it's important that you check. Something might apply to you. A lot of students think, okay, well, I don't have a 4.0, so I don't qualify. But no, you'd be surprised. We have different scholarships for everybody. But if you don't start looking, because like I said, there are deadlines. November, December, January. And we don't want all the seniors to start looking, okay, well, I'm going to start college in 2 months. I'm going to start in May. At that point, it's ending already. At that point, those deadlines, and then you're already going to need the money really soon. So we encourage everybody, check every month, because you don't know you might qualify for something that nobody else does. Or maybe there's only 2 people you're competing with. So there's many different circumstances, but once you wait till the very end, like in May or April, you're thinking, okay, well, now you have 50 other people qualifying for the same scholarship, the same deadline. But right now, check it out. There are many scholarships out there. Okay. And I think we could go to the next slide. I think it's very similar. So once again, like I was talking about different types of scholarships. So we have scholarships from different places, from colleges, from businesses, from other types of, different types of people that want to donate, different entities. So, and we do also have those that say you are a 4.0, or say you're going to community college only, or maybe you're going to a trade school or vocational. And then we have the scholarships also that are renewable, where they will give you, $10,000 within the 4 years you're in college. Maybe every year they'll give you $2,000 or $2,500. So we have different types, but you won't know unless you check it out. We have our website listed right there, www.suhacounseling.com. Okay. And we definitely invite you to check it out this weekend, tonight. I know everyone's getting a little overwhelmed. Okay, FAFSA. We are glad that you're on board with FAFSA, because that is a longer process, but that also has a deadline in March. So we will have you, apply to college, look at the scholarships, start looking at your FAFSA when you get a chance. But it's still, keep in mind those deadlines. The deadlines are very, very important for scholarships, for FAFSA, for the university. So that's something else to keep in mind. And hopefully some of you will be joining other workshops within the next 2 hours. Okay. Any questions? Any quick questions before we have you guys start working on your own application?
I am going to stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay. So I can see you guys. Alrighty. Can you guys see me now?
Yeah.
Yay. Alrighty. I know we gave you a lot of information, and trust me, it was hard trying to narrow it down, because we would be here forever. Okay. So we're coming towards the end, but we purposely left space in between this workshop and the next one. Okay. To have you guys kind of get started. So what we wanted to do is Ms. Garcia has added the links for the FSAID in the chat, also the FAFSA and the DREAM Act. Okay, we want you guys to get started, and you can open up another screen and you can start, going through them. And if you get stuck, okay, then we're here. Okay, if you want to log off, that's fine too. Okay, but we want you guys to take advantage. We can stay here logged on with you guys. Okay, we have a couple questions on the chat, I think. Yes,
We did answer them.
Yeah, for everyone that didn't read the one on the chat, Ms. Garcia did answer. Yes, you'll have the PowerPoint accessible in your Google Classroom of 2022. We'll also upload this video as well. Okay. Any other questions from Santos, Hugo, Salas, Baraxi, and Vargas Espinosa? No? Can you guys log in into the FSAID and kind of get started? Cool. Nice. So let's get that one started. And if you get stuck, just unmute yourself and ask us. Or you can do the chat, but we like hearing voices. Ms. Garcia, anything you want to add?
No, I appreciate this group. I'm glad they're here. And if you guys, like I said, come, we're going to have workshops in the future too. And then there's the webinars for parents and stuff. So we want you guys to get as informed as possible.
Yeah, as you guys are filling it out. Yes, you can go to the link that's in the chat. I would start with the FSAID. It's a little bit up above. Ms. Garcia, can we post the FSAID again? And just start filling it out. This would be for you because you are going to be needing your FSAID. Write these logins and username and FSAIDs. Write them down. Keep them somewhere because we don't get access to them. Do not share them with your friends. Okay. Also, for college, university, financial aid, use your personal email. Remember, your school email would disappear once you graduate. So make sure that you use your personal email and that you check your personal email often because they will send you updates, changes. Sometimes you'll be asked to provide documentation. And if you do not send that information because you never read your email, then they'll stop your process. Okay. So please use your personal email for that one and keep an eye on it. Yeah, we want to make sure you get your FSAID done. It won't take too long. Okay. That way we're here to walk you through it. Okay.
Ms. Chavez Casas, I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
do they still have it where when they create the FSAID, does it take about 24 hours and then they get a little message in their email, or is it quicker?
It's a little quicker now. It looks
Okay.
like this year. But they do still need to verify it and it'll go to their email.
Okay.
Guys, I know it's frustrating sometimes, but they will ask you to verify things and you'll get like little verification codes to your phones or your email because they want to make sure that it's you. And you guys are going to be uploading financial and personal information regarding you and your parents' finances. So you want to make sure it's legit. Okay. And the government also wants to make sure it's okay. And it's not somebody that hacked your account. So don't give your username or passwords to anyone. We don't receive them. So keep them in a safe place. Okay. And yes, you will have to verify with like your PIN number. So you'll end up with a PIN number, an FSAID, and then your username. Okay. Awesome question, Ms. Garcia. Anyone stuck?
No stick in this.
Go ahead. You have a question?
Turn on. No shit, turn on.
What?
Shahara, do you guys have a question?
Should we stop recording or are we going to stop recording at 11:15?
we can stop recording. I'm going to stop the recording, okay, guys? I'm trying to stop the recording. Here we go. Stop recording.